I just like to talk about stuff that get ignored within pop culture and that we just like turn a blind eye to, but we know that it's there.
Hi there, and welcome to What'sUp, a moCa media production. I'm DJ Hellerman, Deputy Director and Senior Curator here at moCa Cleveland. In this podcast, we focus on art now, conversations with artists about art, ideas, and why making matters. Today we're speaking with Erykah Townsend. Erykah is a multimedia artist based in Cleveland, Ohio, and her exhibition Happy Holidays is on view until January 4th of 2026. Let's find out what's up with Erykah.
Hi, my name's Erykah Townsend, and I'm a conceptual artist from Cleveland, Ohio.
I'm wondering if you could talk about your time working with moCa leading up to this exhibition.
I think it was actually 2021 where moCa had applications for the residency, and I was during the summer of 2022. Like actually being in this room during that time was weird because it was the first time where I had a studio space exposed for people to look in. Like in undergrad, it's kind of different because it's a bunch of studios and like anyone, like it's overwhelming rather than a strong focus on you. So it was me being kind of like an introvert and just like working and seeing someone staring at me. It was like a different experience.
Let's talk about the idea behind Happy Holidays.
Mm-hmm.
The exhibition title, Happy, is in quotes.
Yeah.
So why did you decide to do that? What was your thought there?
I'm like obsessed with idioms, and especially for the titles of my shows or even titles of my pieces, because it's kind of going back to pop culture. It's like using instead of using a character, it's like a reference of like a slogan or something. And I just wanted to point out, like, is it really happy during the holiday season? And it was like a big connection of what I wanted to talk about and like how the holiday season can be perceived as something positive, but it's a lot of negative to it. And we just ignore it, and each year I wanted to shine a light on that.
You have very specific work experience after college, after you graduated from the Cleveland Institute of Art. You have very specific work experience that kind of helped you think through this idea of happy holidays, problematizing or the burden of the holidays being maybe too much, or maybe not talking about the burden of the holidays. And I wonder if you could share that experience with us.
So the first job I had was at Michael's. I worked in the framing department. But in the framing department, you still got to be on the floor, and you basically a regular employee still. And so retail-wise, like the customers were just crazy during that time. And it actually starts even before the holiday season. Like I understand now why retail stores be having stuff like Christmas stuff in July, because it's actually crazy customers that will be like, did you get the ornaments yet? And things like that, like specific ornaments and everything. And during that season, it was just a lot of people just bumping heads, not even with the employees. It can be another customer arguing with another customer, and they just think that we're robots. And sometimes they think think like the employees at Michael's got control of Michael's. Like, do you think I made this brand? Do you think I can just order 5 more? Like, I'm just working here. So,
well, there was a specific experience with your manager.
Yeah.
Right, purchasing a shirt. What was that?
I'm not gonna say her name, but it was just a situation where she put herself in a bad predicament to buy a gift for her mother. And like after that, I was literally like arguing with her, not in a mean way, but like in a motherly way, even though she's older than me. And I was like, why are you doing that? Like, just buy the gift later. And she was just like arguing back, like, no, I want to get this gift for my mother now. It's very special. And I understand like gift giving, but like Christmas is just a day. Like, it's nothing wrong with giving a gift in January. And like, why do we have to wait until Christmas to give gifts? So I think it's actually kind of hypocritical, because it's like, if you so into gift giving, why do you have to wait until Christmas to celebrate that and to appreciate someone? So yeah.
There's a lot of different materials in the show. There's a lot of different ideas in the exhibition, but it's really an entire show about Christmas. Is Christmas something you've always enjoyed?
It was always something I didn't understand. And so actually it was going to be about all the holidays at first. And I feel like while I was creating work pieces, it just didn't feel authentic to me to like be saying like, oh, Easter, we put a lot into Easter, because I don't feel like it's overwhelming. Like, I feel like Christmas is the only holiday that we actually go overboard for. Like Halloween, I actually looked up the stats, and Halloween doesn't actually pull that much money in. It's like the lowest one. It looks like it does, but the highest one was actually it was Easter, Christmas, and I think Labor Day. But Labor Day is high because of like that's the part of the season where a lot of sales happen. And also people go on vacation and things because they're off for work. So they total all that up too. But so I just feel like it should have focused more on Christmas, because it's more about that, the overpowerness of it.
There's a couple of very specific references in the show. The leg lamp, the Grinch,
yeah,
Frosty the Snowman, Charlie Brown, the Christmas tree, Macaulay Culkin in Home Alone. What is it about these references that are interesting to you?
Well, one is the different generations they come from. Like, some of them are more modern, some is like mid-century, and I think going back to pop culture and like how not everyone, but how people can pull a sense of like a sentimental feeling, like nostalgia from them, but everyone have a different experience. Like when I was talking about the big piece on the wall, Frosty the Reflection piece, is some people that never seen Frosty the Snowman, so the way they looked at the piece, they see it as what they see. Where whoever seen the actual scene, they're like, oh, I remember that. So I think it's cool to pull from popular culture, because some people have connection to it, but it can also be put into a different context.
There's an artwork, the Christmas tree shape. The exhibition starts with it.
Oh, memorials.
That's it, memorials.
Yeah.
Memorials is an interesting artwork in the show, because when you were talking about it, you had talked about finding these older ornaments, and you had some kind of emotional reaction to that. What was it, and how did that factor into putting the show together?
So I found them at a vintage shop, and I got them like for a good price, and it kind of made me feel weird that they were sold off that easily. She was just like, oh, $5. And I was like, what? It like was something I seen valuable. So I was like, oh, okay. So as I was like putting them together, I was seeing like different names and different years. And yeah, I just feel like I was like reminiscing on like a time that I didn't even exist. And just like visually thinking of these families and what they were doing during that period. And then I think also it made me reflect on the different generations, because when I was growing up, I feel like I'm the first year of Gen Z, but I still kind of relate to millennials. And the era where I was growing up, everything started getting more modern. So seeing ornaments like that, I seen those as a kid. And now everything is like plastic, where like it was more like handmade and like not wire spin, spin ornaments and things like that. So it was also like something I connected with too, because I remember when an ornament fell off the tree back then, it's like glass, or now it's just like plastic. And the aesthetics of Christmas is more like, it's not fulfilling like it used to be. It kind of remind me of like how McDonald's is. Like now, y'all got rid of like Ronald McDonald. It just super boring. Like now their color scheme is like gray and white and green. Like, but it's kind of like how Christmas is. It's just simplified now.
In terms of its color?
In colors and in material. Like it's more plastic. It's not stuff to last long. And even looking at Michael's, I feel like when you had Christmas decorations back then, you stored it and you're going to have that for a couple of years. You can literally buy something now and it'll be already deteriorating. It'll probably last like 2 or 3 years, but yeah.
But not like an heirloom or something you're going to hand down to your family or something.
I wrote like a paper about this in school. I was comparing like modern architecture to like the Truman Show, more of like solely of like how everything now is built fast, and it feel like we even though it's structured, it seems like everything is prop. Like our walls aren't brick anymore; they're faux brick. The like we don't have wooden floors; they're like wooden panels. Like everything seems cheap. And like going back to McDonald's, I remember when I was younger, it literally took them like a year and a half to build. They can like build a McDonald's in a month now, probably even faster than that. So yeah, I think everything nowadays is just like it's even more commercialized. But now it's more of a sense of fast production, where even though it was a mass production back then, it was still good quality. But now it's just more like we need to hurry up and get it out. Like just like fast fashion. And then like IKEA and things like that.
There's specific artworks that have, like I think when you walk into the exhibition, there's like, you kind of get a smile on your face. You know, like it feels like, you know, like a Christmas store or something, especially since it's the summertime right now, mm-hmm. when the exhibition is opening. And then as you move through the show, there's a couple of artworks that I think definitely have an undertone of sadness to them. I wonder if you'd talk about those, maybe Charlie Brown, mm-hmm. or even Frosty, which is kind of the really big iconic work on the very back wall of the exhibition. Mm-hmm. Those two have a very specific kind of sad undertone. Mm-hmm. Would you talk about that?
Yeah. So I feel like those are like kind of a signature of like how most of my art pieces are, where like visually it's these bright colors, but it's still like it makes you feel happy, but it's not something happy. And I think that's just like a play for the viewer to like their engagement with it. But I also wanted to point out like even like you as being a kid and how you viewed things like that. Like watching the Grinch, like when I watched the Grinch as a kid, I wasn't even like mad at him. I felt for him. He's basically getting bullied. And I think even the ending pissed me off, because it's like I don't know. I feel like he shouldn't still be hanging with them. Like they literally bullied you, and now that y'all understand the true meaning of Christmas, it's like, but they still treated you bad. And yeah, I feel like a lot of like cartoons and media, we ignore like the actual bad parts and like be like, but this happened, yay, but like completely ignore the everything else. So that was like connection to that.
You went to the Cleveland Institute of Art, and your major was painting. There's only one painting in this show, and it has a very significant sculptural element to it. But I think most of the work in the show is a very different kind of material. It's a very different, mostly sculpture even.
Yeah.
Do you consider yourself a sculptor?
No. But what is actually, the real question is like, what is a painting? Because is it the paint itself that we painting in, or is it what you're doing it with? Because if I can change from oil to acrylic, why can't I change to another material that's not oil or acrylic? And so to me, even though it's not like a paint, like in that sense, it's still in the context of a painting. And I feel like what I speak on is in like the history in painting rather than the history of like sculpture. Even though I'm really into like Dada and like pop art, even though they deal with like sculptures and ready-mades, I still feel like it's like talking about they were really anti-art, and the most popular like medium art is painting. So like going back to that context of like art, I think it's just like the argument of like, why aren't these paintings also? So yeah.
I guess the blow molds are acrylic too, right?
Yeah.
Are there any artists that you go back to over and over again that are kind of important to you? It doesn't have to need to be an artist, maybe just even a pop culture reference. Like what are the kind of like references, whether they're art related or not, that are interesting to you?
South Park, the show. People don't understand how important South Park is. It's like, I feel like it's the only source in modern time that's unbiased. Like they talk about everything in a centered way, and I feel that like that's like the real truth. And they talk about extremism in a sense too, where kind of like with my art, like, because it can seem like I'm hypocritical because yeah, I love buying vintage toys. I'll probably spend $200 on a vintage Tom and Jerry piece or something, but it's not even like, I'm not anti you buying something you love. It's more like when it gets to the extreme and like the purpose of why you buying it, because it can be someone that loves collecting like Jordan shoes, and then it can be someone that's literally just buying them because they just want to hop on the bandwagon. So I more talk about the sense of a culture that goes to the extremes and like being not being authentic to themselves. And that's like going back to Happy Holidays, where like people go to the extremes just to buy gifts, and to be in this culture is like, do you really need to do that? So,
yeah, to buy and to suffer.
Yeah. And then it's a quote from South Park from Kyle. He's the one with the green hat. And it's kind of in my artist statement, but it was a piece, an episode called Imagination Land, one of those. And at the end, Kyle is known for making like the summary of the show. He'd be like, oh, I learned something today. And he was just talking about how, even though he's a cartoon himself, he was saying like how cartoons and characters are more human than real humans, because like, I'm going to die someday, but Buzz Bunny is going to always be there. He's going to keep being remade. And it's like, these characters actually have more presence than an actual human. They're like gonna be here for, unless people stop remaking them, but they're always going to be alive. So, and that's like my argument with pop culture a lot, because I feel like people think pop art is just like easy and like, oh, it's just the dirty bubble, it's just Mickey Mouse. But it's like they're like, but when you look at it, look how big Disney is as a company. Literally started out as a mouse, now they own all these companies, they own parks. And so pop culture is super huge. So, yeah.
And one of the things that comes up in the show when you're talking about Disney is the relationship between buying and suffering, but also the relationship between buying and establishing some kind of relationship with your family. Mm-hmm. So it's either, through gift giving or vacation, like the kind of economics behind the things that are making memories for your family. I'm just thinking about like how buying things is so often tied to making memories.
Yeah.
Maybe a different example would be like when you get together with like public space. Like we don't have a lot of public space, so what do? You have to monetize that relationship with your friends and go to eat at a restaurant instead of, oftentimes it's not go hang out at a park. Those are kind of out of the way, and public space isn't encouraged that way here. So it's a different kind of monetizing of a relationship between a family.
Yeah. And then it can get tricky sometimes, because sometimes when you do stuff that's not like buying stuff, it can also hold as much value too. Like instead of like going out to eat at Applebee's, if y'all all get together, go to the grocery store and cook in the kitchen and have like a nice dinner, that can hold more value than just going out to eat. And yeah, I do think a lot of people think of like my show that I had at Spaces, Bittersweet, that was about birthday parties, kind of tie into that, because I always had anxiety about birthdays, because I don't like not even like the age thing. I just don't like people having like, I don't like attention on me, and like the anxiety of like each time that year comes, it's like, oh, especially when you're a kid, it's like, what my theme's gonna be for this year and how many people are gonna come to my party and stuff. So it kind of is that connection with Christmas too. And like every time I tell people, oh, I'm just gonna chill on my birthday or I'm just gonna go to the park, they're like, what? Why are you doing that? And that's like another thing. It's like, why do I need to go out to eat or anything or do something special when I like doing this is more special to me? Like reading a book, walking in a park, why isn't that not special? Why do I need to do something like commercialized too?
One of the things that you're doing in the show that I think is special is giving away free cookies.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if you could talk about that.
I think
it's hidden in the museum. It's not in the exhibition, but somewhere else in the museum, there's a little hidden cookie tray where people can grab free cookies. And people, I didn't have a cookie yesterday, but because I didn't make it up that far, but a lot of people did. And a lot of people were enjoying what it was to watch somebody enjoy to get a cookie for free.
The thing is kind of going back. I had a show called Cheap Thrills at Abattoir, and it was basically connecting that too, of like how something become valuable in a different context. And this fashion designer Virgil, he started off in architecture and stuff, but he was really inspired by Marcel Duchamp too, and it's kind of like the fountain piece and like just ready-mades themselves. Like I just put these cookies on a pedestal and like in the art context, and now they're special. But it could be cookies at the open and downstairs at the table, and y'all wouldn't think it's that special, and they're free also. So so now that it's in into like an art piece. It's like, oh, it's a cookie. It's like it's that same cookie that's downstairs too. Yeah.
One of the things I love that you said earlier, and I think about this, like, not all pop culture is bad, but some of it can be pretty challenging. And you were like, we were talking about food, and you were talking about Little Debbie snacks.
Oh yeah.
And you're like, sometimes you just want something nasty.
Yeah. Sometimes like that fake plastic cancer tastes good. Like you want that aesthetically, but it's like something tastes that's not good for you. But yeah, that's basically related to other things too. And like sometimes when I buy stuff from Shein, I'm like, I shouldn't be buying this. I know this is badly produced, but then it's also that being satisfied of like it being super cheap and like you getting it now. So yeah.
The other tone in the show that's great is different things that are like annoying in the show, and that's something that is interesting to you. I think you use that word a lot. You say annoyance or annoying, or and there's the annoying caroling piece with Silent Night, and I'm wondering if you could talk about that, like your interest in what's annoying, and then how that piece of 12 different covers of Silent Night is meant to be kind of an annoying presence in the gallery.
Oh yeah. So going back to like anti-art, I like the challenge of like making the viewer, I wouldn't say uncomfortable, but making the viewer not being in a typical like mindset when they view a piece. And like with that is like when we were talking about the volume and like if it was too loud, they probably would not want to go by it and things like that. But sometimes I feel like an audience, everyone isn't for you. Like it's okay if someone completely hates my piece or completely hate my show. And I kind of like that. I like that the idea of people having their own opinion instead of forcing themselves to like something. So that's why I like the sense of annoying, like because it just creates an engagement physically within a space. And with that piece, it was like not a long process, but it was a lot of thoughts within it, like the song choice of like picking Silent Night and how I picked it because it's like the most covered Christmas song. And I feel like if it was a bunch of songs like Jingle Bell going on and stuff, it would be more chaotic than annoying, because like you can still kind of bear the sound and be more interested, where if it's too much noise going on, it's like, oh, it is what it is. But
Silent Night's meant to be like a comforting song even,
yeah.
Right? Like it's not meant to be like, it's meant to be a soft.
And having all those voices and different generations of singers is pretty cool. And it's also in relation to like working at Michael's and like my co-workers and me being annoyed, like we can't turn off the Christmas music. Like every time, and they turn it on early, like they turn it on right when Halloween's over with. So it's like, oh gosh. And dealing with that, and I just wanted to create that in the space.
So we are sitting here the day after the preview of your exhibition opened, and just a few hours before the opening reception. You asked us not to post pictures of the show in process. So tonight, people will see the show in person and will also start to see the show for the first time on social media.
Yeah.
I'm wondering how you're feeling about the show and what it feels like to walk through the space and see people interacting with what was in your studio just a few days ago.
Well, the reason why I don't like posting in progress and like posting like the whole show before people come, it's kind of like if you have an album drop and you just drop the songs and be like, oh yeah, the album, you can buy that album next week. It's like you just gave us all the songs. It's nothing to like build up from that. And also when you see something online, I feel like some people are lazy and they don't want to come and see it in person. So they'll be like, oh, I seen that, I don't need to see it. And then also the relationship of something, of a picture and in person is different. So I like the marketing tactic of like giving them a teaser first, like with the Jingle Bell piece. I feel like that was the perfect piece of like, this is the context of the show. This is something that you can expect, but I'm not going to give you everything. And I think doing that makes them have a better reaction when they walk in. Because if they seen it already, it's like, oh, there go the legs. Let me go see the rest. Where when you first walk in, it's like, whoa. And
I totally get it, and you're right. I get it.
With my family, I only showed them like one or two pieces, just like the Jingle Bell piece, and like when I was talking about install week, or even like when I was working on the pieces, it was so hard to talk to them about it because I would slip up. I'd be like, oh, I just painted the legs for, and then I would stop. And then I'll make up another story to make like a lie to get out of what I was going to say. And so that's like the reason, and I like to keep it that way. And
how did it feel having them come through last night?
It was great. My mother was super happy. She was a big Christmas person. Maybe that's why I hate Christmas. But yeah, it was also just cool because my family isn't really got an art background. So it's like when they come and see stuff that I do, it's like a whole new world. So I think it's just cool to see how they engage with it and everything.
I'm just curious, when have you always been making things? When did you know you wanted to go to art school or be an artist, or how did this life start for you?
I think it started with playing games. Like I was always like a tomboy, and I always the library I grew up by. It's kind of crazy. That's probably why I really wanted to do that brick pattern in the show, because I used to play with those bricks that was made out of cardboard with that pattern, and I'm super obsessed with that look. And I always just was into building and construction, and like since I was younger. And I think it started actually from me doing, I don't know, I have this thing where I've pushed myself to do too much when I don't need to. And we had this assignment in preschool or kindergarten where we had to just sketch like one cover of a book. And my mother did in-home daycare for like a couple of years. And so we always had like
for children?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so we always had like a setup all the time. And we had a bunch of Dr. Seuss books. And I remember when I had that assignment, I did like 10 plus. And then the teacher's like, oh, you didn't need to do all that. But I think that's where it started. And then as I got more like around, this is like 5-year-old, but when I got like around 9, I was into brat dolls, and I was in America's Next Top Model, and I used to make films with the dolls. And I used to do animations on Windows Movie Maker, something like that. It's so long ago. And when I made those animations, my mother was like, oh, you should go into art school. So I actually went in 6th grade. I went to an audition at the Cleveland School of the Arts. So I went to the Cleveland School of the Arts lower campus for 1 year. And then I went for the rest of like grade school and high school. So 6th grade to 12th, I was at Cleveland School of the Arts. And I switched my major a lot too, because I started off as a visual art student, and then my senior year I was in photography. So, and yeah, with photography I also did pop culture things too. And it's weird because I'm 27 now, and one of the pieces that was in my portfolio for CIA, I did like I got a bunch of students from around our high school, and I did like a 27 club. Like I got someone that looked like Janis Joplin and like Kurt Cobain and stuff. And then when I was around 17, so I'm like, oh dang, I didn't know that they actually died young. I thought 27 was like, it seemed older when you're 17, and now that I'm 27, I'm like, wow, they actually did die young. And you start to see they were actually really talented and stuff. Because I'm like, dang, they were doing that at 27. But, yeah.
Walk us through one artwork in 1 minute.
Okay, so my piece, signed, sealed, delivered. Even though it kind of looks super simple, I feel like that piece was something that I spent the most time with. It's made out of the wax you use to seal off like envelopes when you're sending them in the mail. And it was a funny story with that because when I was making a piece, it kind of looked witchy, like I was doing witchcraft. So I like sat in a circle with my pillow, and I had each burner like surrounding me. And each time I would like I would dip the wax and then put the stamp. Then I have to do a repetitiveness to it. And I feel like that one was like the most engaging. But not only because of that, because I didn't notice how smoky my apartment was. So like after a while I looked up, it was basically kind of like how outside is when it's foggy. And I was like, dang, I'm so happy I ain't set off like the alarm or anything. But then after that, when my boyfriend came over the next day, it was like the residue was still there, and I literally had to be like, just ignore that, please don't. I'm not doing anything crazy. But the buildup of that piece, like it got so much wax on it that I had to eventually buy like a silicone mat and make some stamps individually to stick on later because of the wax building up, it wouldn't like make perfect shapes like I wanted it to. So that's the story behind that.
The logo for moCa has a capital C, and they did that to refer to Cleveland and contemporary. If you had to pick a word that started with C that was important to you as an artist or your practice, what would that C word be?
A couch or something. I like, I don't know. Yeah, I think of a couch when I first think of it. I'm a person where when I'm working on art, I'd say a couch, not even of a sense of just sitting on a couch, but like feeling at home. And that's why I'm kind of happy with the space I got now. I have a live work apartment, which is like, it's like an industrial space where they allow you to live in your studio. So you get like the best of both worlds.
No separation.
Yeah. And like with me, I don't like, I know I should like be more careful, but like when I'm in my studio, I'm like more laid back. Like I don't have like all the equipment and stuff. So like when I'm working on a painting or something, I'm literally sitting on the floor, like watching like Friends or something. And so that's why I thought of couch, because I'm thinking like home. Yeah.
As as this shows up, and I know you have other shows coming up, What drives you to keep making work?
So, yeah, I just like to talk about stuff that get ignored within pop culture and that we just like turn a blind eye to, but we know that it's there.
Well, Erykah Townsend, happy holidays. Will be on view here at moCa until January 4th of 2026.
Yeah.
Erykah, thanks so much for having this conversation.
You're welcome. It'll be up during the holiday season. So cool.
Thanks for listening to this episode of What's Up, where artists share their process, passion, and why art making matters today. For more information and show notes, check out mocacleveland.org. Please like and share this episode, and as always, subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. See you soon.
What's Up is a presentation of moCa Media. Copyright 2025. All rights reserved. This episode was hosted by DJ Hellerman and produced by DJ Hellerman and Tom Poole. Special thanks to Adam Zaccaro for consulting production and audio engineering. Erykah Townsend, Happy Holidays, is supported by Margaret Cohen and Kevin Rahilly, and the Satellite Fund, administered by Spaces and funded by the Andy Warhol Foundation for the Visual Arts Regional Regranting Program. Guest opinions are their own and do not necessarily reflect those of the host or moCa Cleveland. Thanks for listening.